An important national holiday is among us, and of course I'm talking about May the 4th. Now let's talk about the movie that brought this amazing holiday and that changed movies forever, in my opinion. Okay, so Star Wars. I'm not going to label it as Episode 4 A New Hope, I'm calling it for what it was when it was released in 1977. Now Star Wars is one of the most, if not the most, iconic and recognizable movies and franchises in the history of mankind. It left such a huge mark on pop culture after its release that everywhere you turn, there will always be something referenced to Star Wars. For example, like right here. And my shirt, if you guys can't see, it says "In JJ we trust," and I am so excited about the Star Wars Episode 7 cast being announced. But that will be its own video. Star Wars revolutionized storytelling, it revolutionized how you tell characters, it revolutionized the special effects, and also revolutionized just movies in general. And I promise on you guys that I won't fanboy out on Star Wars because I want to look semi-professional. After all, it is a review. Well, maybe I'll just let my fanboyism just creep in a little bit. Now, I'm going to be talking about Star Wars, spoilers and all, and if you haven't seen Star Wars, then what? You haven't lived. Let's all take a moment of silence for the ones who haven't seen Star Wars yet. Moment of silence over. That's it. Here comes the movie review. You have been warned. It's a spoiler alert. So Star Wars kicks off, and it starts off on this little desert planet called Tatooine, and they point out in the movie that it's like the worst planet you can possibly be on. It's very, very shitty. You don't want to live there. And here they introduce Luke Skywalker, the main hero of the movie, on how he wants to get off this planet and fight for the rebellion with all his friends. His uncle won't allow that for various reasons, and for good reasons as well. Well, because he doesn't want him to be like his father. And later, Luke meets Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I love Obi-Wan Kenobi as a main character. He's gonna be later on in the original trilogy, but this is the movie where he has the most screen time. He's just a really wise Jedi Master, and he's also a really good mentor to Luke. Obi-Wan explains to Luke, oh yeah, times used to be good, and we were awesome as Jedi until Darth Vader came, betrayed, and murdered your father, and he betrayed me as well. Now, Darth Vader, he is one of the most coolest bad guys ever put in a movie. Like, he is so recognizable, even people who haven't seen Star Wars take one good look at Vader, and they'll think, oh yeah, that's Darth Vader, or he's a character from Star Wars. And honestly, that's good enough for me. At least you know he's from Star Wars. And now Luke goes on a journey with Obi-Wan to learn the ways of the Force and go to Alderaan. And they go to this dinky little spaceport in Tatooine, and there they meet Han Solo and Chewbacca. Han Solo and Chewbacca, they're one of the coolest duos ever, and Han Solo is one of the best characters ever in a movie. He's this badass smuggler, space cowboy who just doesn't take crap from no one. And if there's anyone I want to be, it would be Han Solo for sure. Oh, and by the way, Greedo did not shoot first. Han Solo did. Ah, God, such a stupid scene. Originally, Han Solo shoots Greedo under the table first. And then when George Lucas had to make the special edition DVDs, he had to make Greedo shoot first instead of Han. And I honestly don't get that. Yeah, you're already introduced to the character of Han Solo when Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker talk to him at the table in the cantina, which was cool, but the scene where he meets up with Greedo at the table, that is the scene that defines him, and him shooting first shows that he takes no crap from no one. And George Lucas's solid and good reasoning behind that, I have no idea, but I can guarantee you he can't back it up really good without fans bashing on him, like myself. Alright, I'm losing track here. Alright. They all eventually go to Alderaan, but they find out that it was blown up by the Death Star, but not by Darth Vader, but by Grand Moff Tarkin. He's this skullish looking figure who has high power in the Empire, and he's the one who gives Darth Vader orders. Yeah, Darth Vader is an awesome villain, but let's give a hand to Grand Moff Tarkin. He is extremely bad in this movie. The crew eventually get on the Death Star, they rescue Princess Leia, and here comes one of the best parts in the movie, I think. Obi-Wan and Vader, they're squaring off in a lightsaber duel, and you feel this connection, this friendship yet enemy connection that they're having. It's mostly enemy, but they used to be friends. Luke sees Obi-Wan from a distance, and he's just seeing him square off with Vader, and then as soon as Obi-Wan looks over, he sees Luke, and then he looks back at Vader, smiles, he gathers his lightsaber, and then Vader chops him down. Obi-Wan, dead. However, Obi-Wan warns Vader if he struck him down, he will become more powerful than he could possibly imagine. And by that meaning, Obi-Wan will return as a spirit and be a guide for Luke the entire trilogy. This makes Obi-Wan an awesome character. Obi-Wan 1, Darth Vader 0. Now they have to attack the Death Star and then join the rebellion. And here they have Han Solo. He's a character who's just all about the money. I forgot to mention that. And Han Solo, once he gets his money, his reward, he's just like, peace, I'm out. I don't want any part of your rebellion. Yeah, it's badass, but it also kind of makes him look like a douche. But, you know, he's a cool douche. He will redeem himself. And that is one of Star Wars themes. It's redemption overall. And it's a really good coming-of-age story. So now the rebellion has to make an assault on the Death Star before the Death Star comes and destroys their main base on the planet Yavin. They only got one shot and they should not miss their chance to blow. And this opportunity comes once in a lifetime. After all the crashed pilots and the porn star mustaches, Biggs is dead, Wedge flew away, Luke is basically on his own to destroy the Death Star. And here, this is the part where Obi-Wan speaks to Luke spiritually, telling him to use the Force in order to destroy the Death Star. And I'm telling you, this is where the soundtrack just starts picking up. Well, I mean, it already picked up. In my honest opinion, I think the soundtrack, this is what made the movie great. And I really believe that a really great soundtrack will carry a movie and will help tell the story. And I believe that the best soundtrack in the movie is on the planet Tatooine. That's my honest opinion, but this is one of my favorite soundtracks. Is where Obi-Wan speaks to Luke spiritually and telling him to use the Force. And this music that's playing, awesome. Good job, John Williams. And Vader comes down personally to get on some of the action. He is about to shoot Luke down. And guess who comes back to save Luke? Han shoots Vader away. Vader is gone. He's not dead, but he flew away. And then Luke destroys the Death Star. Rebellion wins. And that means Grand Moff Tarkin and millions of other innocent stormtroopers dead because of Luke. And good job, Luke, you dick. And then at the end, everyone gets a medal except for Chewie, because that's just the way the world works. But Chewie gets the last line in the movie, which is extremely awesome. It should be a huge honor for Peter Mayhew. Now, I didn't know that a couple weeks ago that Star Wars was nominated for Best Picture during its time. And then I looked up who won Best Picture, and it was this movie called Annie Hall. And I respect Annie Hall as a movie, but when it comes down to it, who will remember Annie Hall over Star Wars? Who runs this academy, I tell you? Star Wars could have been the first science fiction movie to win a Best Picture. But it ended up winning tons of Oscars in the end. So Star Wars will always be a game changer in the movie industry. It brought new matters to the table, and it was a story about redemption and a coming of age. And the soundtrack the soundtrack in this movie, absolutely stunning. I love the soundtrack to this day, till the day I die. And a sequel will be released in 1980, but that will be its own video. And Star Wars became an instant classic among moviegoers, and I will say, Star Wars is a well-deserved 5 out of 5. Yeah, so May the 4th is over, but now it is Revenge of the 5th. Or, at least what I call it, at least. Did I just say that twice? Anyway, guys, I have to get going. Peace. And may the 4th be with you.